Alright there, my name's Ragtag, the greatest gutter tier gamer on the face of this earth, and welcome to Apex Tales. This is my narrative series where I describe all my thoughts and feelings as I go through every fail that I experience. Anyway, today I played ranked until the very early hours of the morning, and that's because I started in the very early hours of the morning. I probably shouldn't have, because looking back on it, my energy levels started to cost me more than I could bear. But with the Winter Express coming back at us in December, I really needed to make a healthy stab and begin my road to diamond so that perhaps one time, just one time, I'll make it to the coveted rank which so many average players are denied entry to. And yes, most days I feel like a chicken that wants to spread its wings and metamorphose into a magnificent eagle, patrolling the skies and looking down to lands of little bronze nublets, but in fact, I'm just a chicken with its neck on the block, waiting for the inevitable moments when the big hand reaches the 12 on the clock and the axe comes down. Where the trouble is, the little hand on the clock was on the 5 by the time this session was over, and that meant I'd have to endure a knock. Several, actually. Now, technically, before anyone can claim that they're on a road to diamond, they must first rank up to plat 4, as this is truly where the grind begins for your everyday loser such as myself, and I was very close to achieving exactly that, just a few RP away by the time we got to this game, which was a little bit into my session, so I've got no excuse for not being warmed up by this point. Landing into Carrier, I hoped for early combat and early ranked points, but instead was given the chance to comfortably gear up and think about how we were going to approach this game. Due to recent positive experiences, the Hemlok was the one part of my loadout that I considered absolutely essential and non-negotiable. Whatever secondary weapon I chose would have to play its role once the terrifying burst of the assault rifle had performed its primary function, and that is to catch enemies off guard by the sheer amount of damage it is capable of. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that it amazes me how many times an enemy just does not give enough credit to the damage they're taking from the Hemlok, that I would attribute that to their reaction for 90% of my eliminations, making this an obvious choice. I mean, if you suck at Apex, I recommend bending all the advantages to your favour as a matter of urgency. Why do you think I've been collabing with all these other creators recently? For the fun of it? Give me a break. Anyway, as we emerged from maintenance to the grassy plains of Hammond Labs, it sounded like everyone on the map had gathered together for a swift end to this match. So the only thing that worried me was if I'd found myself with two nose-picking passive teammates, but Wraith fired up her portal, signalling us to battle. The gutter tier was about to get some. Wraith had found another squad over the hill, but my attentions were firmly placed behind us and below us, meaning just one thing. There's something incredibly triggering about being sent back to the lobby by thermite grenades, yet all my previous deaths had brought me no sympathy for the fence-hugging skulkers that lay in wait to set upon us had I not burned them off the map. But there was no time to bask in my sadistic glory, for Wraith had found us more customers.
Charging on my
I was desperate to unleash Newt's black hole on whoever came through that smoke, but little did I know that this ultimate would be used defensively in a way that our enemies would not expect. I don't think my team did either, but oh well. As it would happen, every squad on the map had now been drawn to this battle, so this was where we'd be making our stand until the very end. My aggressive plays cost me, as I heeded not my surroundings. Going down first meant my team might suffer, and suffer they did. My only saving grace now was the fact that other squads were competing to become king of the hill, so maybe, just maybe, I could crawl away, self-revive, and then prepare for the ultimate comeback.
Contact with target.
Yeah, well, I didn't think I'd get shot in the back, but it is what it is, and I ranked up to Plat 4 with 66 RP in my favour, so it was time to immediately get back on the saddle and chase a victory in the perils of solo queue. But that's the thing when it comes to queuing with random teammates. You never know what you're gonna get. And I got someone who decided that we were landing in estates, but it looked like a poorly timed jump to me. Enemies who were already heading there would have their loot before us. So I did something that I don't often do, and that was break off a little bit early to grab a couple of supply bins before heading back to my team. And it turned out that they had managed to land on the far side of estates from the enemy squad, so I made it back to them just in time. Well, almost just in time.
Help me, help.
Ah, the sweet smell of victory filled my lungs and I grabbed my squad mates' banners. However, given everything that had happened so far, I feared for our late game survival as looting up was taking my new friends quite a while. So I decided to lead the charge to the next area, but just as I was about to ping...
Enemy rather close. I think we could all use a pick-me-up. Recharging my shield.
I always wanted to get concussion by inverted pile drive. Despite an early knockout, my ego resolved that this must have been the fault of my teammates, certainly not mine, so I took my -6 RP on the chin and queued up again straight away after shrugging off the tiredness of a long day spent doing absolutely nothing, by the way. This time, I was the jump master, and I would show my team how to land into estates properly, with authority, with presence, and hopefully with a bit of loot once we got there. Turned out we weren't alone, and I could hear the other squad with their thundering footsteps. It was time to unleash Ninja Tag.
Already inside. Enemy down. There's an enemy. They spotted me. I'm taking shots. Reloading.
At this point, I should have seen the signs. My aim was slipping, I was exhausted, but the need to regain what had been lost had now gripped me. And you know what else had gripped me? Causality. Cause? Knackered. Effect? After being repeatedly flushed down the toilet into the gutter of Plat 4, knowing fine well that if you could rank down into gold, I would have been, and probably would have been worse off than when I started tonight, I then committed the worst mistake that all losing players do once their session has gone downhill, and that was say the dreaded 3 words that we all know. One more match. You could say this started off really badly from the get-go because I had been playing Wraith in the previous game, someone else picked her while I was dozing off in front of my PC, and I'd been given Watson. It's the only legend I spend copious amounts of time avoiding and failing at when I do get her because I seem to be the only person unable to connect her fences or in fact even lay them down in the first place. But that didn't matter right now. Right now, I was playing like a donkey, and that wasn't about to change. I felt embarrassed. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't even be playing in this condition, and despite making a mess of the triple take as a shotgun, I opted to make this my main weapon for this game. I thought that sitting back and taking time to hit my shots would be the only way I could help my team out, if at all. I had no chance of winning quick reflex up-close battles, and as we wandered into Turbine, I heard fighting coming from outside maintenance. But trouble was closer at hand.
They're wrapping around us.
They're wrapping around us. I mean, surely I heard that call out. And perhaps I did, but the allure of a potential kill after such a headshot left me with an overzealous and overtired positioning, resulting in the same thing I'd been worried about all game, throwing this match by not being compos mentis enough to be a fully functioning teammate. The good news is that I had teammates who were communicating on the ball, and better than that, they knew how to pull when pushed in on.
I have no heals, so. I have no stealth.
And that right there is why you do not take a portal if you don't know what's waiting for you on the other side. Then I betrayed my team again in an act of well-meaning ruthless aggression when I tried to back up our Wraith.
It's only level 1, so it's not bad at all.
Rezzing Lifeline outside the ring was the safest course of action and would allow us to get him back to his death box. Unfortunately, our previous activities had been detected by another squad who were also interested in that loot. After a brief but strange skirmish, the other squad dipped. Lifeline got their loot, and we exited this cursed place. Speaking of cursed, we headed towards estates.
We got 2 different squads here. We gotta run.
As fun as it was to charge up my body shield from little tickle triple take shots, the ring was about to force us out of this area. Play the ring, dudes. I had no idea how to be creative at this point amidst all that mess. I was running low on ammo for the triple take. Perhaps my salvation lay in that care package.
Care package over there.
The Kraber. My eyes widened. I sat up in my chair. It was time to unleash the power of Scotland. Admittedly, Scotland's power is in need of a bit of a recharge.
Target over there.
The tension of the throttling ring rose, and I wondered about offering the Kraber to a teammate instead. I decided that if my next shot missed, then I would relinquish it for the good of the team. Missing a downed enemy? This would not stand! Rezzing my kill and then another missed shot? The gutter tier had had enough! I also paid for my intemperance and almost cost us the game. I'd say this was to do with tiredness, but I can tell you right now, I'd do the same thing even if I was fully alert. That would trigger my clenched muscles into tremologic spasms of the like no one has ever seen! I'm not even sure if tremologic is a word actually, but hey, thank goodness for Lifeline and for the fortuitous situation of having two other teams fight while we were recovering. But now it was just us and them. Could the gutter tier redeem himself and go to bed with a smile on his face?
I'm on the ammo for this. I had like 50 rounds each, and that's.
Light ammo here.
Last one, baby.
Down another. Reloading up.
Turns out that you can win games of Apex Legends using any character, especially if you forget what any abilities that they might have, but also if you find yourself surrounded by teammates that care about positioning above all else. It really makes a difference. Let me know if you've ever had any late game disasters or even redemptions in the comments below. I've been Ragtag with the most inexplicably useless 2.4k damage you've ever seen. Goodbye.